Because I might have an opinion, that meant I was homophobic. No. Let me say publicly. Let me see very publicly. If there was a dude and I had some to say, that's not because I was homophobic.
We are gay in our family. That's like my son EJ came out. You know, it was important that Cookie and I support our son. We love our son. We're gonna support.
Did the public completely misunderstand Magic Johnson and his son EJ? Or did years of wild internet speculation turn their family into something it was never meant to be? For decades, Magic has faced rumors about his private life, especially after he publicly announced that he was living with HIV. But one thing needs to be clear: there is no credible basis for claiming that a parent can somehow turn their child gay. EJ Johnson has openly expressed his own identity and personal style, and that does not prove anything about Magic's sexuality. Still, once EJ became known for his bold fashion choices, high heels, and confident personality, gossip surrounding the Johnson family exploded. Over the years, commentators and online personalities have discussed Magic and EJ, sometimes mixing real public moments with speculation that has never been proven. Katt Williams has also been pulled into online conversations surrounding celebrities and their private lives, but viral claims should not automatically be treated as facts. That hasn't stopped social media detectives from digging through old interviews, friendships, and basketball history, looking for supposed clues. Even Magic's longtime friendship and complicated history with NBA legend Isaiah Thomas has been dragged into rumors, despite friendship alone proving absolutely nothing about someone's private relationships. The story really intensified in November 1991, when Magic made an announcement that stunned the sports world. At the height of his NBA career, he revealed that he was HIV positive and announced his retirement from professional basketball. The news hit fans like a thunderbolt.
Thomas is one of the greatest point guards to ever play this game. Not because he's just one of my best friends, but because he is. Fakes, hipsy-do, put it in the hoop, shoot the jumper, play defense. He's my baby. Your turn. I learned it all from him.
Magic publicly explained that his past relationships with women had put him at risk, but because of the misinformation and stigma surrounding HIV at the time, some people immediately started questioning his sexuality. That reaction says a lot about the early 1990s. HIV was heavily misunderstood, and many people wrongly believed it was something connected only to gay men. That belief was false, but the stereotype was incredibly powerful. So when one of basketball's biggest stars revealed his diagnosis, rumors quickly took on a life of their own. Instead of focusing only on what Magic himself had publicly said, tabloids and gossip circles began building theories about his private life, and decades later, some of those old claims are still being recycled online. The speculation became so intense that Magic eventually addressed the rumors about his sexuality head-on. But even after he publicly denied being attracted to men, some people still refused to accept his explanation. At the same time, Magic revealed another deeply personal concern. Cookie was pregnant with EJ, and he was worried about whether his HIV diagnosis could affect his wife or their unborn child. The timing made everything even more emotional, because Magic received the diagnosis only about 2 months after he and Cookie got married. Magic didn't dance around the rumors either. He directly told the public, "By now, I'm sure that most of America has heard rumors that I am gay. Well, you can forget that. I have never had a gay encounter. Never. First of all, if I were bisexual or gay, I would come out. But that's just not me. People out here play with me. They play against me. They all know that, because we all ran together. We all hung out together, so no way that Magic Johnson can be bisexual or gay, and not everybody knows it. There's just no way." That statement was extremely direct, but it still didn't shut down the gossip. Some skeptics continued questioning his explanation, even though there was no solid evidence proving the rumors. And that distinction matters, because speculation about somebody's sexuality shouldn't suddenly become fact just because enough people repeat it online. Magic had given his version publicly, and anything beyond that remained speculation. He then explained how he believed he had contracted HIV, saying, "I am certain that I was infected by having unprotected action with a woman. The problem is that I can't pinpoint the time, the place, or the woman. that admission immediately created another wave of attention. Instead of identifying one specific person or moment,
I don't attract gay men, and I'm not attracted to gay men. Who you are? But no, but to be honest, it's like that's why I don't go to gay clubs. I don't go to gay things, because it's like the men that I attract are not there. I do that when I go to the straight rooms.
So. So, has it always been that way for you in terms of when it comes to men?
Magic acknowledged that he couldn't determine exactly when the exposure happened. With his celebrity status, marriage, NBA career, and sudden retirement already dominating headlines, that uncertainty gave gossip outlets even more material to dissect. People started examining his past and questioning every detail, while Magic remained consistent publicly about what he believed had happened. And with Cookie expecting EJ during this chaotic period, the Johnson family was dealing with something much bigger than basketball, while millions of strangers debated their private lives. Magic continued explaining his past by saying, "It's a matter of numbers. Before I was married, I truly lived the bachelor's life. I'm no Wilt Chamberlain, but as I traveled around NBA cities, I was never at a loss for female companionship." But instead of completely shutting down the speculation, that interview only gave the public more to talk about. Some people questioned his explanation, while others argued that his private life was nobody else's business. Either way, the rumors kept moving through sports media and celebrity gossip circles. Part of the reason those stories gained so much attention was Magic's famously close friendship with NBA star Isaiah Thomas. The two first developed a bond while playing together on the 1979 U.S. Pan American Games team, and their friendship continued throughout the 1980s. They became so close that reports even described Magic as having a guest room in his mansion, known as the Isaiah Room. Naturally, gossip-hungry fans took details like that and started creating their own theories. Then came their affectionate behavior around NBA games. Magic and Isaiah were known to hug, joke around, and occasionally greet each other with kisses on the cheek. At the time, that behavior attracted plenty of attention because professional sports culture was very different, and some fans immediately tried to attach a romantic meaning to it. But affectionate gestures between two friends do not prove a romantic relationship, and there is no solid basis for presenting those old rumors as established fact. Still, once cameras captured some of those moments, the gossip machine went into overdrive. What had previously been passed around mostly through stories and jokes suddenly had actual footage for people to replay, freeze frame, and analyze. One widely discussed clip showed Magic giving Isaiah a gentle kiss on the cheek, and viewers quickly started debating what they thought it meant. Magic was also heard using affectionate language toward Isaiah, which only made the clip spread even further. But context matters here. Close friends can joke, hug, or use playful nicknames without it revealing anything about their sexuality. That didn't stop people from turning a friendly NBA moment.
Has it always been what some people consider the straight guy always being the one that would approach you?
Or somebody who, has been intimate and dating, women for most of their life, or like up until then, for sure. Absolutely. It has always been that way, but now it's like even more so. Now that I definitely present in more of a feminine way. Because also it's like my...
Into a much bigger controversy though, the footage became another piece of celebrity gossip that people repeatedly connected to older rumors about Magic's private life. Just take a look at the moment everyone kept talking about. The comments got messy fast. Some viewers began making explicit assumptions about Magic's sexuality based on the way he spoke and interacted with Isaiah. But those were reactions from viewers, not proof of a secret relationship. A pause in an interview or an affectionate moment between longtime friends doesn't establish somebody's sexuality, no matter how many times social media tries to turn it into a smoking gun. Still, it seemed like every time Magic tried to clear up the speculation, people found another detail to analyze. Remember that interview where he directly denied being gay? During that same discussion, Magic also revealed that Isaiah had a difficult emotional reaction when he learned about Magic's HIV diagnosis. That detail immediately sent gossip circles into detective mode. Some people interpreted Isaiah's reaction as evidence that their friendship was supposedly something more, but there's no verified evidence supporting that conclusion. A close friend being deeply concerned after receiving serious health news is completely normal. Yet, the rumors kept getting bigger. Old footage, interviews, hugs, jokes, and emotional reactions were suddenly being stitched together into one dramatic online theory. Instead of treating each moment in its proper context, some viewers acted as if every interaction between Magic and Isaiah was another hidden clue. That may make dramatic internet gossip, but it still doesn't turn speculation into fact. Then the conversation shifted toward EJ. Some commenters began claiming that Magic's acceptance of his gay son somehow revealed something about Magic himself. Others went even further, suggesting Magic was supposedly living through EJ because he couldn't openly express his own identity. Again, there's no credible basis for that claim. A father supporting his adult son doesn't prove anything about the father's sexuality, and EJ's identity belongs to EJ alone. But EJ's bold public image, fashion choices, and willingness to live openly gave gossip pages even more material to discuss. Every new appearance seemed to restart the conversation.
Can't wear skirts. And I was like, well, why not? You know, it's like my inner being was like, there's nothing wrong with this, especially if I look cuter than any girl does. Like, what's the problem? Like, what's the issue? And that's exactly how I apply it to myself to these days in the way that I present, like in my, you know, in my feminine regalia. You know, I've always been a feminine being, and like, that's just like how I best express myself. But I'm like, listen, I'm out all the time, you know, and like, I'm killing a dress and no one else is. Like, the girls in the room are not doing it. Like, they don't look cute. They're not dressed to any nines. So.
And suddenly, people weren't just talking about EJ. They were using his life to make increasingly personal claims about Magic. Then EJ made comments in interviews that sent the internet into another frenzy. He spoke confidently about the attention he gets from straight men and suggested that some of those men would rather pursue him than certain women. EJ has always had a bold personality, but statements like that naturally created controversy online. Some viewers loved his confidence, while others thought he was deliberately pushing buttons and knew exactly how much attention those comments would attract. Things became even more heated when EJ reportedly claimed that whenever he walks into a room, he believes he looks better than any woman there. That level of confidence definitely got people talking. But EJ's comments about himself don't prove anything about Magic's private life. Even though gossip pages repeatedly tried to connect the two stories, Magic and Cookie have publicly discussed learning that EJ was gay, explaining that they were initially surprised but ultimately supported their son. Magic has also acknowledged that acceptance was a process for him. In later interviews, he admitted there was a time when he wished EJ would be straight, before reaching a place where he could fully embrace and support who EJ is. But that still wasn't enough to stop the speculation. Some online commenters started pushing the theory that Magic supports EJ because EJ is supposedly living a life Magic secretly wanted for himself when he was younger. That's a dramatic claim, but there's no credible evidence establishing it as fact. Supporting a gay adult child doesn't reveal a parent's sexuality, and EJ's confidence, fashion, relationships, and identity are his own. Still, the internet kept connecting unrelated details and turning one family's personal journey.
Ritual is wearing a dress, then we should be able to look through entertainment and see all of these people being made to wear a dress. That's what a ritual is. You know what I mean? Like, whether they're white or black, that doesn't matter. There's not other jobs where this is a requirement. Why is this? Yeah. Why is this so necessary?
Into an increasingly wild celebrity theory. Even though there's no solid proof behind these theories, that hasn't stopped people online from claiming that powerful figures in entertainment sometimes try to live through their children. But that idea remains speculation unless there's actual evidence behind a specific case. And one comedian whose name regularly gets pulled into conversations about Hollywood image, masculinity, and celebrity culture is Katt Williams. Katt has publicly clashed with Kevin Hart over the years, and their feud became seriously messy. During those disputes, Katt made provocative claims about Kevin and the entertainment industry, including comments that sparked arguments about how celebrities supposedly change themselves to succeed. Kevin pushed back against Katt's attacks, and their back and forth quickly became one of comedy's most talked about rivalries. Still, Accusations about somebody's sexuality shouldn't be presented as established fact without reliable evidence. When conversations shifted toward EJ and the wider entertainment world, some viewers interpreted Katt's commentary as criticism of what they believe is a broader industry trend. But there's an important difference between somebody expressing an opinion about Hollywood and proving that there is some coordinated agenda. EJ being openly gay and expressing himself through fashion doesn't establish anything larger than EJ choosing how he wants to live. Naturally, social media had plenty to say, and some of the reactions crossed into unnecessary personal attacks. Some commenters even mocked EJ's identity and appearance, turning his sexuality into the punchline of cruel jokes. Another person said, "No offense to Magic, but I always thought he was gay when he used to kiss Isaiah Thomas before a game." Once again, though, a friendly kiss or affectionate behavior between longtime friends isn't proof of somebody's sexuality. Yet those old NBA moments continue getting dragged back into the conversation whenever EJ or Magic makes headlines. But there's another layer to this story that often gets lost when people start digging through decades-old clips. Magic and Isaiah's friendship didn't stay picture-perfect forever. Their relationship eventually became strained.
20 years ago, I knew that transgenders was going to be a thing. It wasn't because I was a prophet. It's just I had gotten so much information that I understood that things are secular. So I understood that the earliest I had seen that word transgender was Baphomet from the transgender.
And their fallout became a major piece of NBA history. Years later, the two publicly discussed some of the pain and misunderstandings that had developed between them, showing that their bond was complicated in ways that had nothing to do with the rumors people attached to them. That history matters, because social media often takes one old hug, kiss, nickname, or emotional interview and removes everything surrounding it. Suddenly, a friendship that lasted through intense NBA competition gets reduced to a few seconds of footage. Fans then start filling in the blanks themselves, even when neither man has confirmed the dramatic theories being pushed online. EJ's public personality has only made those old clips easier for gossip pages to recycle. EJ has never exactly tried to disappear into the background. His fashion, confidence, and openness have made him stand out, and Magic has repeatedly shown support for his adult son, despite admitting that understanding EJ's identity took time. That's where two completely different stories started getting blended together. On one side, you have old speculation surrounding Magic and Isaiah. On the other, you have EJ openly living his own life decades later. Some commenters connect those dots and present their theory like they've uncovered some hidden family secret. But there's no verified evidence showing that EJ's sexuality says anything about Magic's. And this is exactly where the timeline gets interesting. Because Magic's relationship with Isaiah eventually went through a dramatic breakdown, the two men who had once been close enough to exchange affectionate greetings suddenly found themselves separated by resentment, accusations, and years of tension. When they finally sat across from each other again years later, Magic became visibly emotional, and what they revealed about their broken friendship added an entirely different dimension to those old clips. That reunion gave people a much clearer look at just how deep Magic and Isaiah's friendship had once been. In a televised conversation years after their falling out, Magic became emotional while discussing the distance that had developed between them. But rather than proving any of the romantic theories that had followed them, the moment showed two former friends confronting years of hurt, mistrust, and unresolved tension. Their problems had roots in the brutal competition of the NBA, especially when Magic's Lakers and Isaiah's Pistons were battling at the highest level. A friendship that once seemed unbreakable became tangled with professional rivalry and personal disagreements. Over time, Magic publicly discussed feeling betrayed by things he believed had happened behind the scenes, while Isaiah also had his own perspective on why their relationship collapsed. Eventually, the two sat face to face and addressed their fractured friendship. Magic apologized for his role in the situation, and the exchange became surprisingly emotional. For viewers who remembered seeing them joking, hugging, and greeting each other affectionately decades earlier, it was a rare glimpse at what their friendship actually meant to them. Of course, internet detectives immediately pulled those emotional moments into the older speculation. Some treated Magic showing emotion toward another man as another supposed clue, but emotion between male friends isn't evidence of a romantic relationship. Two men can love each other as friends, feel betrayed, and become emotional, while repairing that bond without it meaning anything more. And that distinction becomes especially important when people start connecting Magic's friend.
And so I knew that in the ritual Baphomet, the transgender, to show allegiance to him, you had to kiss his. Really? It said both of those things, so I knew that both of those things would become popular.
With Isaiah to EJ's identity, there's still no credible evidence that one has anything to do with the other. Magic's complicated journey toward fully accepting his son is documented through his own interviews, and EJ has also spoken publicly about what those early family conversations were actually like. But one particular detail from EJ's account revealed that Magic's reaction behind closed doors wasn't immediately as simple as the supportive image people later saw in public. According to EJ, there was a difficult adjustment period inside the family, and Magic had to confront feelings and expectations he hadn't fully worked through yet. And that adjustment period is where EJ's own version of the story becomes important. Instead of relying on strangers trying to decode old basketball clips, EJ has spoken about what actually happened inside his family. By his account, Cookie was supportive, while Magic needed more time to understand and accept what EJ was telling him. That wasn't some secret industry plot. It was a father and son dealing with a deeply personal conversation in their own way. Magic later acknowledged that he had certain expectations for his son's future. Like many parents, he had imagined EJ growing up and following a particular path, and realizing that EJ's life would look different forced him to reconsider those expectations. Magic has discussed learning that his job wasn't to decide who EJ should become, but to support the person his son already was. That context changes the tone of those viral theories considerably. If Magic were secretly pushing EJ toward a particular identity, as some commenters have suggested, why would both men describe an initial period where Magic struggled to understand it? Their own public accounts paint a more complicated picture, one involving surprise, adjustment, difficult conversations, and eventually much stronger acceptance. EJ, meanwhile, grew into someone who clearly wasn't interested in shrinking himself to make other people comfortable. His public appearances became increasingly bold, and his fashion choices regularly landed him on entertainment pages. That visibility brought admiration, criticism, and plenty of cruel comments. But EJ continued presenting himself with confidence. Magic eventually began speaking about his son with noticeably more pride, even discussing how his perspective had changed, and that shift became another detail people interpreted in completely opposite ways. Supporters saw a father learning and growing, while conspiracy-minded viewers treated his acceptance as supposed evidence for theories they already believed. But there was another uncomfortable question underneath all of this. How did EJ himself feel about having strangers constantly use his identity to speculate about his famous father? Because once EJ started answering questions about Magic, family expectations, and their relationship, his comments gave a much more personal look at what life inside the Johnson household had actually been like. But now I want to hear what you think. Do you believe the claims being connected to Katt Williams and Magic Johnson have any real evidence behind them? Or has internet speculation taken things too far? And what do you make of Magic's relationship with EJ? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and share the video. Then click here to watch another messy story.